New footage of an unidentified hump in Scotland's Loch Ness suggests that there might not be one, but possibly two long-necked creatures lurking in its depths. Now, does that mean that there are two different Loch Ness monsters? A September 2024 video captured from a webcam at Loch Bed and Breakfast on the loch's north shore showed a large wake moving south across the water with what appears to be a hump near the front. Now, a self-proclaimed Nessie hunter spotted this and said, "There are obviously two creatures taking up residence in this area of the loch at the moment." He added, "There was a long object that looked bumpy on top of the water, moving through the loch with a strong wake against the current. In the middle of the object, a pale hump-like part of some creature can be seen rising up throughout the length of the video clip. I was so captivated by the sighting," they said. Now, Nessie is supposedly about 8 to 10 feet long on the surface, but has more body or strong fines underneath in order to churn the water up with such force, the Loch Ness hunter said. He was certain that these were the Loch Ness monster and not any other type of animal. What type of creature has a reddish-brown hump in the middle of a bumpy length of body that can cause such disturbance and wake? It looked weird and strange, no resemblance to a seal or otter, he reasoned. No duck or bird could cause a wake like that with so much water disturbance. It might be heading back to hybrid giant eel territory, but it didn't move like an eel. I cannot really say it was any known animal, he said. So maybe this really is footage of the real Nessie. Now, it's been discovered that a drone captured footage of the elusive creature Nessie. A tourist paddling through Scotland's Loch Ness for a long-distance charity canoe trip may have inadvertently captured drone footage of the fabled Loch Ness monster. "The last thing I want to do is make a Nessie claim," Richard Maver told the Post. "I'm the most skeptical of people, but watching this, I think, yeah, there's something a bit strange here. It shows a long, thin form just beneath the water surface." Now, while paddling in the water, the tourist set the drone out to film, and as the camera zoomed in, the outline of a creature nearly twice the length of the beached 14-foot-long watercraft appeared to approach the group while floating beneath the lake's rippling waves. And the shape captured by the camera bore an uncanny resemblance to a plesiosaur, a sea creature from the dinosaur-dominated Mosaic era that has long been associated with the elusive Nessie. Now, underwater footage could have just proved the existence of the Loch Ness monster. The Loch Ness Center has finished a huge search of Loch Ness. It took place last month, on May 22nd to the 25th, and saw hundreds of budding monster hunters scour the 23-mile-long loch for unusual activity, both in person and online. Now, for the first time, remotely operated vehicles were used in an attempt to capture the first underwater image of the famous beast. Now, this was accompanied by baited camera traps fitted with GoPro cameras and lights placed in strategic locations to capture any signs of wildlife. Now, they found some fish and some mysterious shadows. Now, could that have been Nessie? In 2021, on August 26, Benjamin Scanlon was on a holiday with his family and took a trip on the Nessie Hunter of Loch Ness cruises, trying to find the elusive creature. Now, he spotted something on the sonar on the boat and caught an image of something that looks like Nessie. Now, Captain Mike of the boat estimated the creature to be 3 to 4 meters in length at depths of about 20 meters, while the boat was in the water about 40 meters deep. So is this the first sonar image of Nessie? I think so. A man spotted the Loch Ness monster from his house through his webcam, so he made sure it was recording the elusive creature. Owen O'Feogan said he was left stunned by the sighting of the 20-foot monster in the Scottish Highlands and has even had his footage accepted by the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register. So yeah, people think this is the real deal. Now, at the time, he'd been watching the loch via webcam when he noticed a hump-like object at the right-hand side of the screen moving down the middle of the loch. He said at times it seemed to be higher out of the water and at times lower. It moved briskly with no visible wake, but the waters of the loch were not calm. I thought it was a most unusual sight. It neither plowed through the water like a boat with an engine nor sailed through. He added, "I do not think the hump is a seal. Certainly it's not the behavior of one. I think it could be Nessie," after exhausting all other possibilities. Now, he believes that the hump was around a kilometer from the camera, and it's estimated to be approximately 10 feet long and standing about 4 feet out of the water. Now, if this was Nessie, she was huge. On November 12, 1933, a man named Hugh Gray snapped the first known photograph of a creature lurking in the Loch Ness, aka the Loch Ness Monster. Now, he had taken his Labrador for a walk that day, and it is suspected that the photograph depicts his dog fetching a stick from the loch. But others have suggested that the photograph depicts an otter or a swan, and the original negative was lost, but this photo is one of the most famous pieces of proof that Nessie exists. The Dinsdale film from 1960 is another piece of proof that the Loch Ness Monster is real. Tim Dinsdale filmed what he believed to be a dark hump that left a wake crossing Loch Ness on April 23, 1960. He described it as mahogany red with a blotch on its side when viewed through binoculars. He said that when he mounted his camera, the object began to move, and he shot 40 feet of film. Now, after the film, Dinsdale continued to pursue finding the Loch Ness Monster, but while he claimed to have had additional sightings, he was unable to produce more photographic evidence. Now, in 1993, Discovery Communications produced a documentary, Loch Ness Discovered, with a digital enhancement of the Dinsdale film. A person who enhanced the film noticed a shadow in the negative that was not obvious in the developed film. Now, by enhancing the overlaying frames, he found what appeared to be the rear body of a creature underwater. Before I saw the film, I thought the Loch Ness Monster was a load of rubbish. Having done the enhancement, I'm not too sure, they said. Ian Bremmer was driving through the Highlands in search of deer to photograph when he came across a creature that resembled the infamous Nessie surfacing from the calm waters of Loch Ness. Now, he didn't notice the image of the three lumps peeking out from underwater until he got back to his home, and the image shows a serpent-like silver-brown creature swimming away from the camera. The front, middle, and back parts of the 2-meter monster emerged from the water as curved humps. I'd normally be a bit of a skeptic when it comes to Nessie, and I think it's just something for the tourists, but I'm starting to think there's something out there, the 58-year-old said to the Scotsman. When I saw it on my screen, I said, what the hell is that? If you're fishing there, it's sort of the place where you can get a tingle up your spine and second guess what you're seeing. Now, some of Bremmer's friends have suggested that the image is actually of 3 seals playing. I suppose it could be seals, but I'm not sure, he said. The more I think about it, the more I think it could be Nessie.
Breaking news from the Scottish Highlands. Startling new footage may reignite the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. Captured by American tourists just yesterday, the video shows a massive serpent-like figure surfacing briefly before vanishing into the misty waters. Experts are reviewing the clip, noting unusual water displacement and movement inconsistent with known wildlife in Loch Ness. Is this proof of the elusive Nessie? Breaking news from the Scottish Highlands. New photographs have emerged of what appears to be the Loch Ness Monster, but this time, experts are stunned. Captured by a drone just after sunrise, the creature shows unprecedented detail. Scales, defined movement, and even a wake in the water. Unlike past blurry images, analysts say this could be the most compelling evidence yet. Is Nessie real after all? The mystery deepens.